weekend. Wish your life feeling like a never-ending repeat of the weekend. I can't believe it. Yeah. Got it. Switch up how I breathe every time I see it. Yeah. Knowing what you want, I know just what you need. Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing, I got you falling through for the weekend. Chance I put it down, how you need it. Bet I'll make it, I don't wanna leave. It ain't nobody really.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Yeah, your boy is back. Great to be with you. Oh, damn it. Just so you get started, something happens. I'm going to have to take care of that. But we got a little bit before we actually kick on the cam and get things started today. How are you? It's been a minute. Haven't did a broadcast since Friday. A little bit under the weather over the last couple of days and over the weekend as well. But as always, you know, this is my medicine. This is my medicine right here. So I want to say good morning to everybody, and I hope that you're ready to talk. This is your morning destination for interesting conversation. It is the Nathan Ivy Show, brought to you by the good people over at CDM, Sing Digital Media. Good morning, everybody. Hey, listen, I am actually sharing the show on Facebook. Could you do me a favor and do the same? And I ask because if you like this content, well, you know, it's a great, easy way of sharing it and helping the show grow. Quite frankly, I can't be everywhere. I'm not in every Facebook group, and I'm only one person. So when you share the show, more people see it. It's real simple. When you share the show, more people see it, and it helps to grow our platform. Good morning. Oh, okay. What's up, TNT? Yeah. Absolutely. You can't keep a good man down for too long. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Now, we're going to get the show started in about 2 minutes. On today's show, we're going to hit a lot of topics because I haven't been on for a while. But to kick things off, I want to talk about the fact that it's been 1 year since the death of George Floyd. I want to analyze what's changed. Also, will Wendell Young be suspended from council today? Wendell Young is a black male Democrat. I believe he's been indicted. He's been charged with deleting text messages. I'm not sure what the exact official charge is. It's some BS either way. But Cincinnati voters can be so gullible. And those gullible primary voters were duped into voting for issue 1 and 2. They were told that they were anti-corruption measures, but they're not anti-corruption measures. They're not going to stop any corruption whatsoever. Nothing has changed. The one thing that has changed is that if a member of city council has been charged with a crime, then it takes, I think it takes 7 votes under issue 2 or 1, whatever it is now, to have that council member suspended while the investigation goes on. Now, this is what they call duplicative. Why is it duplicative? Because you've already got state laws. The state laws have already worked. You had 2 or 3 council members that were in a similar situation, and they all resigned. This was nothing more than political grandstanding. But like I said, primary voters are easily duped in Cincinnati, and they were easily duped with this. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. By my count, I don't think they have the votes. I think 7 is a very high threshold. But my question is, are people happier now with city council than they were before all of these allegations and people left? Do we have a more effective and responsive city council? I don't necessarily believe that. And when at least one council member named Greg Landsman offered up what could have been some real anti-corruption measures, all of the members of city council voted against it, every last one of them. And they all should be held accountable, but they won't be. Well, check that. They will be on this show, but these other shows, these other folks in Cincinnati, they don't have the balls for it. They don't have the stones for it. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. Because I'm tearless, I'm fearless, and I just don't give a damn. So I ask the questions that need to be asked. Simple as that. And you can believe every member of city council, I'm going to ask them, Democrats, black, white. I want to know, why'd you vote against it? Now, they may have some great answers. We might learn something. But that question needs to be asked. And we need to demand answers from the people that say they want to represent us. You want to represent us, but you don't want to tell us if you give in money to developers. You don't want to create a website where we can go to it on our own and look and see who's putting money in your campaign coffers. Wait a minute. That's not consistent. And while these other suck MCs in Cincinnati and the media might be happy with it, I am not. We don't do weakness here. We keep it 100. And that's what I plan on doing. And as I set up these interviews, I will let you know. so you can check it out and check out their responses. Officials don't like to be held responsible here in this city. You know that. They want to do what they want to do, tell you what to do, and they don't want to be held accountable. And local media has been complicit for far too long until now. Those days are over. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. We haven't been together since Friday. Damn. I know, right? Seems like a long time. And there's so much that we have to get caught up on. I mean, it's so much that we must discuss. All right. So I'm ready to talk. Hopefully you're ready to talk. Where my Clipper fans at? Where my Clipper fans at? Yeah, Clipper fan. Yay. No. You're 0-2, Clipper fan. The fuck is wrong with you? Kawhi Leonard's the king of LA. Well, he better step up. Can you say, Luka, get ready, the new face of the NBA? Luka. Playoff Pete, not looking good. So we might talk about that as well. You know me, 513-873-7134. Now, I do want to give you a chance to like and share the show. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, and then we'll get the show started, okay? Don't go anywhere.
I ran away from heartbreak. Got nothing in return for my pain. I never thought I'd be so empty, so alone and afraid. Wasn't looking for a lover. Nobody understood where I've been. I guess I thought I needed more time to protect my love from potential offense. So I then you and you, but I so you and I'm not surprised by what I found, 'cause I know I needed something different, and it had to be you. Out the blue, somebody who would listen, and it had to be you. Out of all the people to reply, my love couldn't be just anyone. My baby, it had to be you. I didn't seem to notice that you were checking for me. We were just friends. But we started building trust.
Let's get straight to the show. It's been so long. I don't want to spend a lot of time. What's up? Good morning, Choppas. What's up, Brandy? How are you? Good morning to you. Brenda writes, happy Wednesday. Glad you're feeling better, Nate. I'm glad to be feeling better myself. Ashley writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Good morning to you. Ray writes, here, welcome back. Great to be back. Good morning, everybody. What did I miss? What did I miss? What's been happening? What's been happening? So one thing that's going to happen today is that the city of Cincinnati, or the Cincinnati City Council, is going to vote as to whether they should suspend Democrat Councilman Wendell Young, invoking a new charter amendment that allows 7 members of council to suspend a fellow member upon a felony arrest. And again, as I said before, this was duplicative. I guess you could say it's the will of the duped primary voters, because they got duped. Number one, you had elements in the media that was running around talking about corruption and running around talking about text messages. And it's hard to argue against it on some levels when you look at what's happened. I get it. But the way I say they were duped is because issue 1 and issue 2 ain't preventing a damn thing. I'll say it again. Today, a member of city council can meet privately with a developer. They can discuss that development that's before council, and they can also give them campaign contributions. That's all legal, and we still don't know who's doing what in real time. Nothing has changed. The people behind issue 1 and issue 2 were just looking for something to talk about. And duped primary voters gave it to him. He got duped. But being duped in Cincinnati is a natural state of being. It's a lot of people that's duped in this city. Glammed, however you want to look at it. Issue 1 and issue 2 don't do a damn thing to prevent corruption whatsoever. All you've really done is further politicize the mechanisms of city council. That's all that's happened. That's it. I'll say it again. As of today, a member of city council can sit in private. You don't know about it. No one knows about it, and talk with developers face to face over lunch and coffee or sandwiches or whatever the fuck they want to do. During that conversation, they can intimately discuss the details, the virtues of the deal. And in that conversation, the council member can also ask them for campaign donations. How have we solved corruption in Cincinnati? How is the issue of council members being influenced by developers or big money changed at all? Nothing has changed. Nothing's changed. But, that's what we do in Cincinnati. That's why I call Cincinnati the drag queen city, because we dress up as things that we're not. Let that sink in. The drag queen city. We love to masquerade as something that we're not. We love to do that. And that's one of the best things we do in Cincinnati. We are so good at that. Not so good with poverty, though. Not so good with closing the racial wealth gap. Not so good with that. Not so good with that. Getting behind some BS, we great at that. Getting behind, ideas that make billionaires, more billions. Oh, we are excellent at that. Lifting 5,000 kids out of poverty, as the mayor said he was going to do, as he's leaving now, and now he wants to be the governor. That's going to be a hell of a decision right now, right there, because Mike DeWine is absolutely a spineless Mitch. There's no doubt about that. He is a spineless Mitch. And you could tell him I said it. And John Cranley is like a flaccid penis. So you got a spineless Mitch and a flaccid penis running for governor. We deserve fucking better, but we get what we get. We get what we get. We get what we get. It is what it is. We got a spineless Mitch and a flaccid penis running for governor. And we supposed to be happy with these choices. I don't like either one of these mofos. I might go third party. Because John Cranley talked a whole lot in Cincinnati and did not deliver. Yeah. Plus his illegal curfew. I'm reading now that the city had to just quietly drop all the charges, or drop charges from a lot of people that got arrested a year ago during the wake of the George Floyd nationwide protest in the city of Cincinnati with our white male Democrat mayor. You know what he did? He just locked up people unjustifiably just to get them off the streets to get control. Way to go. Sounds like a good Democrat to me. Now the city prosecutors, city prosecutors are running around, been scrambling, trying to find evidence, but there is no evidence because these people didn't do anything wrong. It was called a peaceful protest. But your mayor, the same mayor that was running from protesters that were asking him about the curfew that judges have said was illegal. Remember this? Why do I have to be the one to keep bringing this up? I mean, these other people got all these resources and these big old multi-million-dollar companies. They should be talking about this. But now he's supposed to run for governor. I'm supposed to get behind that shit. I don't believe it. Shit, not on this show. It's going to be a briar patch over here. I'm telling you, I don't want to hear no nonsense. And we ain't playing friends. Friends, schmins. Simply, does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't. I'm sorry. Just a do-nothing mayor. I guarantee you, if you ask John Cranley, what has he accomplished? The number one thing he's going to say is the FC Cincinnati Stadium, as if it wouldn't have happened if he wasn't the mayor. I could have been the mayor. Scratch that. There's a lot of people that could have been the mayor and the same thing would have happened. I guarantee. I can't wait to ask him that question. Can't wait to ask him. I'm just got to be patient in the media game. We'll just be patient. We'll get our shot at it. We got a Mitch, a spineless Mitch. That's John. I'm sorry, that's Mike DeWine. No spine whatsoever. And a flaccid penis. What are you saying? Okay, it's my daughter talking. And a flaccid penis running for governor. That's what we have. Spineless man, flaccid penis. It's very similar. Shit we got to deal with. The shit we got to deal with. Also, 1 year since the anniversary of George Floyd. What's up with the George Floyd Justice and Police Act? Why is it on Biden's desk? What's happened in Cincinnati and around the country in terms of substantial police reforms? I'm seeing a lot of gridlock, a lot of political gridlock, because people feel, but they're not really acting. And then the powers that be, along with a whole lot of white fragility, because that's what it is. That's what's preventing. Let's call it what it is. It's white fragility that's preventing any real police reforms from being in place, because fragile white people feel as if police are protecting them from the black and brown hordes that might infiltrate their cul-de-sac and steal what they've been working so hard for, some other dumb ish that's really not true. But that's what it is. Why is it so difficult? Why is this so difficult? 513-873-7134. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear it. So let's talk. I'm circling back around here. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff, man. I mean, so many places I could take the show today, and we might just do that. But here locally, I think everyone's going to be watching what happens with City Council today. It'll be interesting to see who votes for what. Will it be a straight party vote? Will the Democrats voted would not vote to suspend Wendell Young? All they need is 3 people to say we're not going to vote for it. I think they got that. I mean, you got what? You got Seelbach, you got Landsman, you got Kearney. Boom, there it is. That's it. And so let me tell you what's going to happen, because Bessie Sunderman has no shame, and she's not good for Cincinnati in no way whatsoever. Whoever put her on council needs to be smacked across the face multiple times with flak basketballs with the UC monogram on it, because this is absolutely ridiculous. If in fact the city council does not vote to suspend Democrat Wendell Young, people like Bessie Sunderman, people like Christopher Smitherman, who I predict will probably vote for it, will run to their favorite media outlets in Cincinnati and talk about how they tried to fight the good fight and the Democrats are for corruption and blah. I mean, y'all don't see this? This is simple. You can see this. But we'll wait and see what happens today. Just for the record, I do not want to see Wendell Young suspended from council. I thought issue 1 and issue 2 were stupid as fuck, and it was duplicative, and only an idiot would vote for something like that without really thinking it all the way through. But like I told you, Cincinnati primary voters are pliable. They're easily glammed. You can scare them. And that's what happened. Oh, we're going to give you more control. You don't have any more control than you had before. Nothing has changed. I'll say it again. Today in Cincinnati, any member of city council, if they wanted to, could meet with any developer they wanted to behind closed doors. There's nothing stopping that. In that meeting, they could talk about all the pros and cons of an upcoming development deal, a deal that council member is going to vote on in the near future. Completely legal, right? During that same meeting, a member of city council can say, you know what? Campaign contributions completely legal. And nobody has to know this. We will have no idea about this. There is no more accountability today than there was 6 months ago or before the primary at all. The only thing is that you've given council tools to further polarize and politicize these issues. That's it. That's it. That's it. Let me see. Where we at here? Okay, this is Bessie Sunderman yesterday and I left her a nice little message. I was like, nobody cares, boo. Nobody checking. Once you get the work out here, boo, or sis, or whatever she want to be called, She writes on Twitter as of yesterday, tomorrow, Cincinnati City Council will vote for the first time in its history to protect citizens from the influence of a politician charged with a felony involving his job on council. What? Huh? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And y'all think this is funny? Like, who out there raise their hand and think this is a good idea? Well, we should be. If I couldn't stay on my job, if I had a felony. Okay. Uh-huh. Let me see here. And then, I mean, just think about this. I mean, you got this once in a lifetime CARES money coming from the Biden administration, and you got Gooden, Sunderman, and Keating, who have never won an election. They were appointed. They don't reflect the will of the people whatsoever. So how dare Bessie Sunderman talking about the will of the people? You're not you being on council is not a reflection of the will of the people. It's the reflection of Amy Murray, who wanted a white female to replace her. Why am I the only one talking about this shit? Oh, boy. Gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If Wendell Young is suspended from council, then Chris Silbach would pick his replacement. So that means that more than likely he'll be replaced by another Democrat. If Young resigns today, then Silbach will still make his replacement. If Young is suspended by the state, then Judge Winkler would pick his replacement. And so far, he's picked 2 Republicans, none of them black, because the Republican Party doesn't have any black people here locally that are good enough to be appointed to an open city council seat. I'm just telling you. I mean, you know, I'm just telling you. To my Republican friends out there, if I'm wrong about that, set me straight. 513-873-7134. I'm just telling you what I see. That's it. I'm just telling you what I see. And I see the number right there. Good morning to you. Yes, I'm back. Not really 100%, but I'm still about 75% better than most of these cats out here. So I'm good. We'll be good. I can drive. I can do 2 things at one time. Good morning to you. Oh, man. Oh, boy. How was your weekend? I know it's Wednesday. It's midday, but we haven't talked on Monday or Tuesday. My weekend was fantastic, actually. Had a very, very great weekend. A lot of fun. Just hung out, got some work done, got some new projects coming up. So it was a lot of fun. Had some really strong shows over the weekend. I thought Edna's show with Straight Talk was strong. I thought that, there was some comment. Look, anytime it gets comment, I love it. When people get a reaction from the shows, I love it. And there definitely was a reaction from the Melanin Insights podcast. I love it. I'm here for all of that. Good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. My son is a trip, man. These cicadas got him he don't know what to do. We walked into the car the other day. A cicada, as we're walking to the driveway, a cicada lands on the steps that lead to the driveway on the side of the house. This boy says, I'm going the other way, Dad. He walks all the way around the yard just so he don't have to walk past the cicada. I'm looking at him like, how you gonna get here and fight these lion tires? I guess he's sick, so I give him some time. But come on, man. Come on. I saw somebody in the friends page posted that a cicada was on their arm. I was like, good way to go. It was a black woman too. I loved it. Stop being afraid of stuff you ain't got to be afraid of. It ain't that serious. Do you feel as if the country has changed after the death of George Floyd? 513-873-7134. I want to get your opinion. Do you think that violence against Black Americans has changed since the death of George Floyd? 513-873-7134. Do you believe that the way that police interact with Black people has changed since the death of George Floyd? Again, 513-873-7134. I would like to get your thoughts this morning. Hey, what's up, Cleopatra? What's up? What's up, Inga? What's up, everybody? What's up, TNT? How are you? What's up? What's up? What's up? How is everybody? We doing good? Good, good, good. Great to hear. Great to hear. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Hacksaw Jim Thuggins writes, where Colin Kaepernick at? Black folks getting a wig split, and now he has some generational wealth. The fronting has stopped. I don't know where Colin Kaepernick is. He's got a new book coming out about police brutality or police reforms or something like that. I have no idea, man. Ain't nobody checking for Colin Kaepernick. He did his job. Simple as that. Nobody. He's not Martin Luther King. He's just Colin Kaepernick. He had his moment. What people do at that moment is up to them. Raise your hand if you're looking for Colin Kaepernick to save you. Raise your hand. I know I'm not. He did what he did. It is what it is. Now we on to the next thing. But we know that Fame is a hater, and we know, aka Hacksaw Jim Thuggin, aka Fame. We know that he is a hater, and he loves to hate on black women and black men. And any excuse he can take to try to hate on Colin Kaepernick while kissing people's ass, like, what's the guy's name? Tim Tebow. Oh, Tim Tebow's a great player. Sure he is. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you, CG Dub. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing well. How is everybody? Let me jump on Facebook and say what's up. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate Tha Choppas. Good morning to you, Charles. Cruther writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning. Patricia writes, good morning. Joe writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Andrielle, whoa, just jumped here. Wait a minute. Andrielle writes, good morning, Nate. Hope you're feeling better. I am. Thank you so much for saying that. Kind words. I love kind words, and flattery gets you a long way. Kinda. Anthony writes, morning, Choppers. Morning to you. Jerome's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. I need to get that clip. And whenever you say good morning, I want to hear it in this place. Jerome's in the house. I don't know why that would entertain me. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. Well, good morning to you, Brenda, and good morning to Fairfield. Good morning to Fairfield. Maurice writes, glorious resurrection. Good morning to you. Was anybody out there in Kings Island? I heard it was going down in Kings Island. I seen some of the images. Not sure if you saw it or not, but one of the ladies, Britt from the Melanin Insights podcast, was actually out there, and she talked about it firsthand on the podcast. And Cincinnati loves to overreact when black people do shit. When teenagers do shit, like they go to a mall and this fight and something like that, they overreact to that. So fucking look, and y'all act like human beings haven't been getting into fights. Somebody says some dumb ish and probably need to get handled. Simple as that. Let's quit acting like sometimes a mofo don't need to be handled. That's life. Sometimes people be out here talking slick and greasy. Shout out to Fame. And they need to get them paws put on them. That work. I don't know what happened out there. But it was probably somebody talking reckless, and then teenage mentalities take over. I mean, come on, man. It's your first fight. But we love to put that on the news. And I get it. It should be news, I guess, when the police are called at Kings Island. I'm like, oh my God. And then I saw they interviewed like 3 white girls who were just, we come to Kings Island all the time. Isn't that right, Becky? Yeah, we've never seen this before. I'm like, really? I don't give a damn. So what? I ain't impressed. I'm not enraged. I saw some people was like, why we always got to embarrass ourselves? I'm not embarrassed. I wasn't out there. My daughter wasn't out there. My son wasn't out there. It was them. Oh, we can't go nowhere without getting into it. See, that's you making us look bad. See, that's that plantation mentality. Nobody's making me look bad because they go out and do something. You making yourself look bad. Stop internalizing other black people's bad behavior. Now, black excellence, we can absorb that. Black non-excellence, that's your shit. You know how it goes. Now you're on your own. Oh, boy, lordy, the black kids came out and got into a fight. I saw it, man. It was getting into it, too. It was intense. It was intense. But, somebody probably deserved it. Because, people talk so people talk so fly these days. People be so reckless these days. And I'm going to say it. I mean, it's some people that need to get popped in the mouth. It's just what it is. It is what it is. There's some people out there, male or female, that like to run their mouth. I've said it before. Some people are like, oh, well, you should never put your hands on somebody because they say something. I do not believe that. There's some things you can say to me and I'm putting my paws on you. Simple as that. Depends on my mood and who it is and what you say. You ain't supposed to do that. Well, watch what you say to people then. Simple as that. So somebody was out there doing something slick and greasy out the Kings Island, and who knows, it probably started on social media. Oh, what was you say that shit now? You was in the Facebook group, all this kind of dumb shit, and that's what happens. It's part of the human experience. It is what it is. If you don't like it, just make sure you're not involved in it. Oh man, Anthony writes, the only thing is, Nate, the way things are going today, we need to try and keep these kids out of situations where an overzealous cop feels threatened. We all want our kids to come home at the end of the day. I mean, you're right about that, but I mean, like I said, I mean, who hasn't seen a fight? Who hasn't been in a fight? I mean, fights happen every day in some of our high schools. Every day. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying let's not overboard it. Let's not play it up like it was like some kind of it was the apocalypse or something like that. Like, this is a fight. Oh, so many people coming from everywhere. Well, sometimes it be like that. Just get out the way and go on with your day. That's it. Same thing happens when you have some teenagers that was at a mall. I think it was a Kenwood mall. And they got into a fight. Everybody went crazy. Oh, what's wrong with our children? We need to teach our kids better. I'm teaching my kids great. Y'all need to teach y'all kids better. The parents of the kids, that's who need to do that, not me. I'm not internalizing anybody else's bad behavior. Now, your examples of excellence, well, I'll absorb that. Bring it on. I love it. Like Sebastian Shaw from that whack ass X-Men movie. I'll absorb it all. The negative shit, that's on you. You know how it works. I'm not taking all that in. Oh, it was a fight at Kings Island. Like, really? David writes, good morning. Terrence writes, good morning, everyone. Sarah writes, hang in there, Wendell. If you don't know, Sarah, he's running for city council. He could be on city council about this time next year. Could happen. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Wendell over some text messages. This whole thing is just a waste of taxpayer dollars and time and brain cells. All of it. But I mean, we are what we are. Charles writes, redundancy like a mofo, right? And some of these same Republicans are all about smaller government. Smaller government, smaller government. We don't need redundancies and duplicative legislation until it comes to city council and they think they can get a leg up. I'm just calling it out. Sarah writes, Wendell doesn't deserve this witch hunt. Well, what's deserve got to do with it? Nothing. Deserve, it's politics. It don't matter. It's about whatever it takes. And Betsy Sunderman has no real good ideas. So what does she do? She runs on corruption. It's easy. It's like low-hanging fruit. And then she can appear to be above the board. Oh, I'm pristine and clean. Sure you are. Maurice writes, nothing has changed. I thought that situation was resolved with Mr. Young. No, it is not resolved. It's still ongoing because the prosecutor said that he didn't want to get involved with it and pursue it. And then he appointed a special prosecutor. The special prosecutor was making $250 an hour. So, somebody say, look, we want you to do a special prosecution. How much to get paid? $250 an hour. Oh, this is going to take about a year. What a great gig. Only white people get gigs like that in Cincinnati. Only white people get gigs like that in Cincinnati. White privilege is still real in Cincinnati. You got some white folks making some major money and they ain't doing shit. Working for some of these corporations and nonprofits and working for they ain't doing a damn thing. Getting paid, clocking dough, retirement money. You know what I'm saying? Like this special prosecutor. So yeah, I'm going to special prosecute this. What did he find? Nothing. All he found is what Wendell Young already admitted in court to a judge. It's all he found. But he's got to justify the paycheck. So indictments. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. We want to act like it's legitimate. Oh, sure, it's legitimate. Yeah, it's legitimate. Graston writes, good morning, Alt Middle. Is the click I claim coming quick with the game? Sarah writes, political posturing. Yes, it is. Regina writes, good morning. Glad you're feeling better. So am I. Thank you so much. Sarah writes, glad to see you back in the saddle, Nate. Absolutely. He's under state felony indictment for tampering with records. WTF you mean? Hashtag alt middle. Let me see. Tanika's in the house. Good morning to you, Tanika. She writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Good morning to you. Hey, there's a post about Tanika and her new endeavors that's circulating on Facebook. If you can't find it, go to the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a closed Facebook group, and you can check it out in there. You know what I'm saying? Choppas support Choppas. Good morning. So just think about this. Democrat Councilwoman Tamaya Denard, who I think was treated differently in this whole situation than her male counterparts. She resigned in March 2020 after being arrested and was replaced by Democrat Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney. So a Democrat replaced a Democrat. Just think about that. Republican Councilman Jeff Pastor was suspended by the state after an arrest in November 2020, triggering a process in which Republican Hamilton County probate judge Ralph Ted Winkler, chose Pastor's replacement. He chose Steve Gooden. PG Sinfield was suspended by the state after an arrest in November 2020, triggering Winkler to replace him with Republican Liz Keating. So what is that? So why do we need issue 1 and issue 2? We didn't. The system worked. With all 3 of those, they all stepped away from council. We never needed issue 1 and issue 2. But y'all just gave Bessie Sunderman and Christopher Smitherman another chip to use to create more wedges on city council. That's the only thing I see from them. I'm just being honest with you. I see it from both of them. If I thought I saw something different, I would share it with you, but that's what I see. So now the Republicans have gotten what they wanted. Remember they were bellyaching about, we need more Republicans on council. Now you got it. Now what are they going to do with it? Nothing. They ain't done a damn thing. And they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything substantial at all. Wait and see. This is the top of the food chain for them. This is as good as it gets. What else do they have for us? We'll find out. We'll find out. Let me see here. And Steve Gooden, I've heard good things about Steve Gooden, but I don't trust none of them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't trust Liz Keating. I don't trust Bessie Sunderman. I don't trust Steve Gooden. I know they're great people. I'm sure personally they are just salty other people. But, when people want something, they'll say and do anything. Here's a quote that's being attributed to Steve Gooden in the Cincinnati Enquirer this morning. Gooden, Republican appointed to replace suspended member Jeff Pastor, believes the new council and the stimulus vote reflects what voters wanted. Steve Gooden, the fact that you're on council is not a reflection of what the voters wanted. We never voted for you. We voted for Jeff Pastor. By we, I say that very loosely in terms of the will of the voters going through an election. But this is the game they want to play. They want to play this game. Okay, it is what it is. Darlene's in the house. She writes, hello, good day to everyone. Happy Wednesday. Sister Iris is in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Daryl's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Good morning to you. Lemmy writes, good morning. Clarence writes, I hope CPS doesn't ban CRT, critical race theory. Well, speaking of which, they have a new interim superintendent now. Yep, she's stepping up. She was, I think, the deputy superintendent. And now she's going to be the interim superintendent. I don't know if she is going to, I think from what I read that she and there's 2 deputies or assistant superintendents. I think they're going to both put their name in the hat to be the new superintendent. Black female. Is it Tiane Amat? Am I saying that correctly? I've never met her before. I've never spoke to her before. I don't know anything about her. I'm going to reach out and see if we can get her on the show. I want to talk with her here on this platform. very, very soon. We'll I'm sure should be doing interviews with people. We'll find out. The current deputy superintendent has been named the interim superintendent. I don't really have any confidence in the by and large, I don't have confidence in the board, the school board. The school board of Cincinnati is full with a lot of people who are in over their head. And in my opinion, they're in it. Some of those people are long in the tooth. They need to be gone. They need to be gone. And then some of those people just don't have what it takes, in my opinion. They are not change agents. Okay, I'm not gonna say any names. If there's school board members listening right now and they think he's talking about me, I probably am. I am talking about you. That's how you feel. But so who knows what they're gonna do? They're gonna be the ones that are gonna make this decision. I've lost respect for the vast majority of the CPS board. And now I realize why CPS is a failing district, because it's a reflection of their failure, quite honestly. You know what I'm saying? It's a reflection of their failures as individuals and as leaders as CPS, because the vast majority of them are not change agents. You got some good ones there. But they are overshadowed by the ones who are in it just because of the prestige. I get to be somebody. I'm the school board. I'm on the school board. Some people are really into that kind of stuff about prestige and being somebody. And, you get to have a parking, you get to have your reserved parking and, all that kind of shit. I don't care nothing about that. But I can definitely see that you got members of school board that they're just in it for the shine. Do they want to help some kids? I'm sure they do, but primarily they're in it for the shine. Some of them, anyway. Not all of them. It's true. I don't even have to say no names. It's true. Tiff writes, good morning. They know it's true. Maurice writes, yo, that's funny, the drag queen city. Really? I've been saying it for years. I said it so much I forget to say it sometimes. We love to masquerade as something that we are not in this city. Right? It's the truth. TNT writes, good morning. Glad you back, Nate. Good morning. Thank you so much. Tiff writes, I thought it was 10,000 kids. No, he said he was going to lift 5,000 kids out of poverty and didn't do. You talking about the flaccid penis, a.k.a. John Cranley? That man, what is he going to do? What is he really going to do? All he's going to do as governor is tell us a bunch of shit he's never going to do. And then, just think about this. Quite honestly, if he becomes the governor, how much power is he really going to have if the Republicans still, he still will have power on a lot of different levels. I can't say he won't, but let's just say that if John Cranley becomes the governor, he's going to have to deal with the Republican majority legislator, and they gangster. How will he navigate that? He'll probably bend over like a lawn chair, just fold straight into him. I don't have any confidence in John Cranley, quite honestly. I would say the same thing to him. Nice guy. He's always been nice to me when I meet him. We speak. He seems like a very nice man on a personal level. As a mayor, absolute waste of our time. Absolute waste of our time. But it is what it is. I'd like to know, what do you think about the 1-year anniversary of the George Floyd murder? He was murdered 1 year ago yesterday. I wasn't on yesterday. I know that was the big news. I want to join that conversation as well. I just want to get your thoughts. Do you think that, and you got to speak from wherever you live. If you live in Cincinnati, give me your perspective from a Cincinnati perspective. If you live in another particular state or city or part of the country, just reflect from where you live and what your vantage point is, and tell me how much has changed in your opinion. How much has changed in your opinion? I would love to hear it. Again, 513-873-7134. What's going on over there in Lebanon, Ohio? Lebanon, Ohio is getting national attention because Lebanon becomes the first Ohio city to pass local abortion ban. Yeah, we talking about abortion. Like what somebody else does with their body. I will never understand it. One of the nation's longest running debates resurfaced last night in Lebanon during a council member after hearing from more than 100 local voters. City Council passed the abortion ban. Lebanon are they in the 80s? Currently, as I've read, there are no abortion providers in Warren County, but the bill would outlaw clinics from coming to Lebanon. Doctors who perform the procedure could be charged with a misdemeanor and face up to $2,500 fine and up to a year in jail. So basically, there's people in Lebanon who basically have a mentality from the 80s. Like, you've got to have bigger fish to fry in Lebanon. And these mofos is running around trying to prevent women from getting abortions. And to me, it really doesn't matter about how you feel about abortion. You could be pro-abortion, you could be anti-abortion. If you're anti-abortion, what I would say to you is, okay, fine. You're anti-abortion. You have every right to be anti-abortion. You know what that means? It means that you shouldn't have an abortion. I applaud that decision. You have every right. What it should not mean is that your personal viewpoint should govern the actions and the abilities of somebody else. I've had this conversation a billion times. I just don't understand people. And I mean, this is what your issue is. We're coming out of COVID, and a majority of council in Lebanon is on some anti-abortion type ish. But I just throw it out there. It sounds absolutely Stone Age to me. But if that's what they want to do in Lebanon, I mean, I guess they were duly elected by the people, so they've got a right to do it. I think it's just a slap in the face to women. I wonder how many women were on the city council, because men, primarily white men, love to get all up in a woman's fallopian tubes. It's like they're little kids. They want to get back in. You ass can't get back in that way. You can't get back in. I mean, you can, but you can't get back in that way. My thing about this is, and I'll say this and I'll move on. If you don't have fallopian tubes, if you don't have the ability to reproduce, you should step the fuck out of the conversation and let women make a decision for their own bodies. Is that so hard? Why is that so hard? I don't have fallopian tubes. I don't have ovaries. I don't have a birth canal. I'm going to let the humans that do make a decision for their bodies about what they want to do. And I'm cool with that. And see, what this represents to me is that it's a lack of faith. I bet you all these folks on the Lebanon City Council, I bet they claim to be Christians, but they're fake Christians. Only a fake Christian would vote for something like this. And would you like to know what I mean? Well, I'll tell you. Because real Christians believe that God will one day make his judgment. So real Christians don't have to run around here on earth trying to pass laws and do God's work. If you really believe that abortion is a sin, then rest on your faith that they'll be judged and they'll get what's coming to them by the person that created them. That's enough for me. Why isn't that enough for all the Christians? But no, some of these sanctified Christians, they want to press upon God's work here on earth. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Look at me. I'm been off for 2 days. I'm remembering Bible quotes and shit. Gold star for Nathan. It's going to be a great show. Again, it's just a lack of faith. It represents a lack of faith. If you really got faith, you ain't got to do all of that. Just say, God will deal with it and go on with your life. And you just make sure you don't have abortions. Why is that enough? If I'm an anti-abortion person, why isn't it enough for some of these anti-abortion people to just not have abortions in their own life and let God figure out everything else? You ain't saving nobody. Oh, we got to save the babies. Okay, you want to save the babies, but you don't believe in a social safety net. You don't believe in welfare, which was initially intended to set up to allow mothers to stay at home and raise their children. We want to rush women off of the welfare fast as possible. We want to look over their shoulder and investigate every dollar they're spending on their EBT card. But you love babies, though. Sure you do. You don't give a damn about no babies. You might care about your babies, You don't care about the babies of these single mothers that might be struggling, living in substandard conditions. Because if you did, like look at Cincinnati. If we were really cared about babies, we wouldn't have so many black kids living in poverty. Don't tell me you care about babies, and we have so many. The vast majority of the kids who are living in poverty in Cincinnati are black and brown. And if we really cared about it, we would have solved it already. It's amazing how we want to throw money at all these endeavors, except when it comes to poverty and homelessness. Then it's all about, will money really save it? I don't know if money's the issue. When it comes to stadiums, we can't give them enough money, right? Oh, they need money. Oh, they need more money. They need more money. Just back up the Brinks truck and open the back doors and put all the money in their hands. But when it comes to poverty and homelessness, it's like, do we really need to spend this money? Don't think so. This city, man, his culture is so backwards. Charles writes, Bessie Sunderman's in her office this morning laughing, rubbing her gauntlet-covered hands together, petting a fluffy white cat perched on her lap. Yes, she is. Gadget. And she's saying, Gadget. Curse you, Gadget. That's hilarious, man. That's good stuff right there. Jenny writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Good morning to you. Joe writes, screaming girl power. I remember that. Girl power. Girl? No, like grown old woman power? Yes. Woman power? I get girl power? Come on now. That's hilarious. Brent writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Good morning to you. Sabai writes quietly, he knew he was facing a class action by the ACLU for all those people who were illegally detained at the justice system or center. Yeah, man. I'm just saying that was the article that I read. Let me pull it up right here. I got it on my phone. It's a damn shame. George Floyd protests happened in Cincinnati, right? Or it came to Cincinnati. I was out in the streets. It was largely peaceful. I know there was some damaged property, and I don't condone it at all. It's always bad. But what's happening to black and brown people is bad. So there's going to be a reaction out there. You know, people are going to react. It is what it is. And the mayor put this illegal curfew in place. He swooped down on a lot of peaceful protesters. And our police force, along with the mayor, trumped up a lot of charges and wasted a lot of our taxpayer dollars on peaceful protesters. And when it went to the judges, they threw it all out. And Hamilton County prosecutors and city prosecutors have been scrambling to make their cases. That's what happened. What's the use of having a Democrat as a mayor if he's going to act like a Republican? What's the point? What's the point? And those were our tax dollars at work being used against the people. That's what happened. You had peaceful protest. Remember what they did? They had the people just sitting outside of the Justice Center. We had a big old conversation about it. Just sitting there, detained. Why? Because that's the mentality of Cincinnati. We want to control you. I blame everybody. I blame the chief. I blame the mayor. That's who I blame. Whether it's fair or not, that's what I blame. Because they in charge, aren't they? All right, then. Peaceful protesters were illegally detained and illegally arrested on our dime, in our jail, on our dime, and they never should have been there. They never should have been there. Like I said, we love to waste money when we want to do it. But when it's something that's real and tangible for the people, we got to have conversations. Let's think about this. Let me see. Hey, this is outrageous. This is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. It's outrageous, but this is Cincinnati, so we go for that kind of stuff. Cincy Tigress writes, good morning, Nate Tha Choppas, watching from YouTube. I'm in Facebook jail. Damn, curse you, Facebook. He put my people in bondage, man. Let my people go. Give us free. From the Amistad. Damn. Deshona writes, good morning, Nathan, and all a cooler day. TNT writes, I'm weak at the description. Dale writes, Nate, it's the Senate, not Biden. Okay. Dale writes, the hang up is qualified immunity. OJ Wellburn, what's up, brother? He writes, good morning, Nate and Choppas, the Wellburn experience. Yeah, we're cooking up something good for you coming up real soon on the Wellburn experience. Keep watching. No way Cincinnati needs 37% of our tax dollars going to the popo. 37% of our tax dollars? But Sarah, that's white fragility. That's what that is. It's people who are afraid, and they use that fear to justify these bloated police budgets. When that conversation started about reimagining police, I listened to it. They were scaring the bejesus out of people here. Well, they're not going to be able to respond. What if somebody breaks in your house? And again, fear has always been a great motivator of the masses. It remains that way in Cincinnati. It remains that way, and they're smart to do that. Iris writes, Betsy Sunderman is out of order. Of course she's out of order, Sister Iris. The day after the primary, she's in the media, on social media, talking about she's going to file a motion to suspend Wendell Young. That's your number one priority after the primary? It's not housing? It's not equity policy intangibles? It's not some other more kitchen table type of an issue? No, she's fixated on Wendell Young. Why? Because as a white female, positioning herself going after this black dude strikes a lot of chords in Cincinnati. We love that. By we, I say very loosely because I'm not for it, but many people love that. You got the villains. We love polarization here in Cincinnati. We love it's us versus them, right? It's that whole slave catcher mentality over again. Oh, we're going to bring him to justice. He stepped out of line because he deleted a text message, and we don't even know what the text message was about. Where is the rest of the media? Where are these fools, man? Where's everybody at? Why am I the only person saying this? This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, but it is what it is. Tabitha writes, good morning, Nate. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, I am. Not 100%, but I will be soon. Grand Rising, Nate Tha Choppas. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Maurice writes, obviously, you're the only one that has the heart. Well, that's where independent media comes in because the old allegiances don't mean anything to us. The old structure, it's a whole new structure now. You know, the digital landscape is all about 100% truthfulness. And that's what I offer you. Just a different perspective. It don't have to be any better. Certainly ain't any worse. It's just real. 100%. That's what we deserve. Glenn writes, morning, Nate Tha Choppas. Glad you're feeling better, Nate. Thank you so much. Ronald writes, neighborhoods should be able to decide if they want police in their neighborhoods, especially if they feel their tax dollars have been misused. Listen, I'm not for abolishing the police. I never have been. I am for reimagining the police budget. Okay. I think that police play a very central role in our social order here. I'm just open for a full conversation and analysis as to the priorities of our budget, including the police budget. Like, could we serve our interests with 100 or 200 less police officers? I don't know, but I'm here for the conversation from qualified individuals. There's some people that don't even want to have the conversation. To me, that's foolish. Appreciate it. It's the wifey. Anime Savage is in the house. He writes, man, good to have you back. I was lightweight going crazy. Okay. I don't like hearing that, but I'm glad to be back though. Still think that should be a lawsuit. The people voted for a Dem to be in those seats. What is it going to take for us to wake up the slumbering part of the black electorate in Cincinnati? What is it going to take? Because people vote, but not enough. So what is it going to take? Mo's in the house. He writes, morning, Choppers. Glad you're feeling better, brother. Thank you so much, Mo. Thank you for that. Maurice writes, I haven't seen any downtown. You speaking of cicadas? I live in the Clifton area, so there's a few. I've heard them there's some trees right next to the house, and I can hear them when I'm out and about in certain neighborhoods. I can hear them. I mean, I think it's cool. Hold on one second here. I'm not sure happy with this light here. I'm not sure that either. I think I like it like that. Yeah. Sometimes you got to position it just the way you like it. You know what I'm saying? Daryl writes, Kristen Clark, assistant AG over civil rights is a big deal. Yeah, first black person, black woman, black individual in that position. We'll see what she does with it. Congrats to her. Tamika writes, absolutely not. How many other African Americans have been killed by police since he was murdered? Correct. He's sounding more and more like Tim Scott every day. Fame Scott. Is that right? Nat writes, okay, to the Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers won last night. I did not watch any of the games. I turned it in early, trying to get my energy up so I could be with you this morning. I did catch some of the highlights on YouTube. What I think is the funniest thing is the Clippers. Now, that's not over with. But them Dallas Mavericks and this Luka Doncic, he looks like the real deal. He is definitely a baller, though. Anybody who's ever balled before can see he is a baller. And as his confidence grows, he is going to be a problem in the NBA, a real problem. The problem with the Clippers is their mentality. They got too many soft dudes in leadership. Like Paul George is soft. He's super soft like Charmin. Now, he's in better shape than me. You know what I'm saying? Well, he'll dunk on me all day. I'm just saying it seems like on that level with those kind of mentalities that when I say soft, I don't mean like he's not willing, that he's less of a man. I don't mean it that way. I mean like stepping up to the big moment in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody's built for that. You know, we'll see what happens. I hope they come back and make a series out of it. I hope every series goes 7 games because that means more fun for me. I love it. Clarence writes, glad you're back, homie. Chopper City. Good morning to you. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, boy. It's going down. Somebody just said it's going down in the chat here, huh? Well, that's going to happen. Tracy writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Tracy. Shannon's in the house. Good morning to you, Shannon. Good to see you. Let me see. TNT writes, I'm glad it was just a fight and not a gunfight. We just lost girls to stabbings. It's getting hot and bullets rain over the summer. Yeah, me too. Me too. Like, you know, there's a big difference to me between me getting into a fist fight with a man and me wanting to kill a man. There's a big difference there. You know what I'm saying? Between men, anytime you get men together, teenage boy, you're going to have some fights. It's just what it is. It's just a part of being around men. It is what it is. And sometimes it's two men just got shit they got to deal with. You know, and they might end up being the best of friends afterward, but they just need to fight it out. Most men know what I'm talking about. So I don't know what happened in Kings Island. I listened to Britt, and she's one of the dynamic hosts of the Melanin Insight podcast on Sundays at 5:30. She was there. She talked about how it jumped off and shared her thoughts, and it was very interesting. And you know, fights break out in schools. Fights break out on college campuses. Fights break out at movie theaters. I mean, the thing about it is we live in an age where it feels to me like people are more disrespectful today than they've ever been before. You got a lot of disrespectful mofos out here. It is what it is. You got a lot of self-entitled people, self-obsessed, narcissistic attitudes. With that comes friction. You also got people that like to play games with grown folks. I don't play with grown folks. I got learned a long time ago. I don't play with grown folks, and I don't let anybody play with me. Okay, that playing with grown folks is a good way of waking up in a hospital. And so when I looked at that situation in Kings Island, the first thing I thought is I don't know how this started. I'll say it again. Somebody at Kings Island might have deserved to get that ass whooped. They might have deserved it. I don't know. But I'm not going to overreact because a bunch of teenagers or young adults get into a fight. That's what humans do. I'm not going to internalize it. Oh, the black folks can't go nowhere. That's not true. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, people getting all on their feelings because there was a fight at Kings Island. I'm sure ain't the first time there's been a fight at Kings Island. It's Kings Island. I'm sure it's not the first time. So let's not act like it's just so rare. I saw the news clip, and the local news do what the local news do. They had these 3 young white girls. Me and Becky and Cindy, we go out to the city. We've been coming to Kings Island for years. We love it out here. We've never seen anything like this. We need to take your ass back over there. This is life. Marjorie Taylor Sunderman. I wonder how she would feel about that if she heard that. Yeah, I need a cut. I haven't cut myself. I'll take care. I'll look better tomorrow. Clarence writes, if y'all don't see that Bessie Sunderman is a West Side cleaner, which means she is there to get people off of city council that stands in the way Republican legislation and policy, she is not there to vote. Well, she's running for re-election, I believe. So, I don't know. Is she definitely, I don't know. I'll leave it just like that. What they say on Friday, you fight, but you live to see another day. Put the guns down, right? Kamara's in the house. Good morning to you, sis. How are you? Kathy writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you, Kathy. Tanika writes, Nate, you're the bomb. Thank you. Psh, that's easy. Anytime. Any of the choppers doing anything like that, feel free to promote it in that friends page. Send me a link. I got your back. Y'all support me. You know me. I'm a very simple human creature. You support me, I support you. As simple as that. That's like basic human communication. I'd be a damn fool to do anything other than that, right? And you know your boy is no damn fool. So Glenn writes, a black woman was replaced by another black woman by the Democrats. That was PG Sittenfield. I'm just saying, it was a Democrat that did that. A lot of people say there's no difference between the two. There is a big difference between the two. There's a lot of similarities, but there's some big differences that we need to be intelligent enough to perceive. It's very, very important. Sarah writes, tell the truth and shame the devil. Haven't heard that in a way. Terrence writes, do you trust me, Nate? Do I trust you? I would trust you with my vote to be on city council. Yeah, I like what I see so far from you, brother. And I told you that. I said on the air, and I told you, I think face to face. Yeah, I can definitely see you doing your thing and representing for the people 100%. I mean, I'm not going to change how I feel. Let me see. Glenn writes, I hear Steve Gooden down the dial. He sounds like Kevin McCarthy of City Council, does he? The Kevin McCarthy of City Council. I can't wait to reach out to Steve Gooden and talk with him. I can't wait. It's going to be a little different. Sarah writes, Cincinnati has a black voter problem. Now you're talking. Like, what can be done to engage, to excite? It can't just be about voter education, because that's boring. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be something that excites people, that attracts people. Okay, something like that. Hey, how do y'all feel about the Black Taste of Cincinnati coming back? It's going to be down at Yateman Cove. Shout out to J. Raj. He's one of a handful of people that I look at and take a lot of just. Well, I mean, I sat with the brother before and ran ideas past him. But I think when people are successful and you have access to them, you should reach out to them. So, but what do you think about J. Raj bringing back the Black Taste? It's going to be on Yateman's Cove. It's going to be a whole 2-day deal, I believe. He's got the food that you like, also entertainment coming in. Are we ready for this? It's going to be, I believe, in July. Are we ready for this post-COVID? Are we post-COVID yet? Something to think about. Let's go to the phones while we ponder that thought. Hey, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, comrade.
Good morning, comrade. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a beautiful morning in the drag queen city.
Yes, it is.
Hey, listen. I just want to talk about one of your topics about Wendell Young, right? My perspective is that Bessie Sunderman is doing God's work. Think about it like this. When she was appointed by Amy Murray, and this stuff came about with the councilors being suspended, she said she was going to clean up City Hall. Isn't that what she said? She was a new sheriff in town. She's going to clean up City Hall.
Is that
so
what
she
she
gets
said?
issues. I think so. If you look back when this first started happening, she didn't come in like that because this wasn't going on. But when she was appointed to replace Amy Murray, she said she's going to clean up City Hall. And look at what, well, you ain't got to be impressed. But facts are undefeated. Issue 1 and issue 2 passed, right? And now, today, they're going to invoke issue 1 and issue 2. That you don't think they're going to have votes. But check this out. You may or may not be aware of this, but there was an Ohio Ethics Commission opinion that came out pertaining to council members Lansman and Seelbach, basically saying, in effect, and I ain't got the whole document in front of me, it's about a 3-page report, saying that these two individuals will put themselves in ethical danger by voting on the matter. So if you take them two out, that's 7, right? So you basically got to get a unanimous vote. Now you tell me out of those 7 people who are left, which ones would not vote for Wendell Young to be suspended? Who wouldn't do that? At this moment in time, they almost have to. So I expect this to be a unanimous vote, 7-0. I think Lansman and Seelbach are going to sit this one out, recuse themselves, so they don't want to complain. Well, especially Lansman. Lansman don't want to ethically play fight against him in an election deal. He's trying to get back on council. Seelbach might not give a damn. We understand that. But Greg Lansman, if he votes today on this matter, he will put himself in ethical danger. And he'll have a complaint with the Ohio Ethics Commission. Go ahead.
I'm just curious. This is great information that you're bringing to the show today. I appreciate it. But what would be the ethical danger? How would it be unethical for him to vote on it?
It would be unethical because the matters pertaining to Wendell Young being suspended, right? So follow the logic. I'll send you the document too so you can review it because I'm not sure if people really know about this. So you're going to see high drama at 2 o'clock. It's going down. But at any rate, the ethical danger that Lansman will put himself in and Seelbach will be that they will be voting on a matter to suspend Wendell Young. Now, what's Wendell Young being indicted for? Tamper with records. What is the records he tampered with? Text messages that were deemed to be open records, of which Lansman and Seelbach were on these open records as well. So basically, Wendell Young deleted text messages to protect the whole gang of 5. So if Lansman and Seelbach decide they want to vote to either not suspend or suspend, doesn't matter how they vote, it matters if they vote or not, they themselves will be conflicted. I'll send you the document because that's not what I'm saying. This is what the Ohio Ethics Commission said. Okay? So, people can argue with the documents and argue with the facts, but again, facts are undefeated. So, I expect Wendell Young to be suspended this morning. And I'm going to actually testify during public comment at 1:30 via Zoom to make my voice heard as a citizen to get this bum up out of here. Everybody else had to go. Everybody else had to go.
My God.
Everybody else had to go. Jeff had to go. PG got to go. Wendell Young got to go. What is the difference? None. He must be suspended. You got a council member under state felony indictment voting on matters of public interest. They would not, come on, man. It's silly. And I want to correct you, too, on, like, you said PG was replaced by who?
Say it one more time.
Who is PG's replacement?
PG's replacement was Liz Keating.
Correct. So that's the only seat that really flipped from Democrat to Republican, and that's because PG couldn't get out of PG's own way. He thought more highly of himself than of his Democratic colleagues to keep that seat. I mean, you got stuff going 5-4 down there at City Hall, and Liz Keating's like to decide and vote from the Democrats and the conservatives on council. It's so stupid what he did. And see, Steve Goodin's Republican
seat that you helped him get elected for that flip.
I sure
from
did
a
help
black
that.
council
Correct.
member to a white from black
that
to white.
That don't matter, but it's the same politics.
That don't matter?
It don't matter to me. No, it's the same politics.
Wait. So you're saying the race representation of city council don't matter? I disagree with you, homie, on that one.
Not in that instance, no, because they got the same politics. They're both Republicans.
Nah,
okay?
They could never have the same politics because one of them is black and the other one is white.
See, that's that bullshit right there.
No, that's not bullshit.
You're playing identity politics.
No, I'm not playing identity politics.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not playing. Are you telling me? Wait. Do you know anything about Steve Goodin's background?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Steve Goodin.
Wait. Is his background similar to the background of Jeff Pastor, or is it dissimilar?
It's different, but the
Okay,
politics are the
then.
same.
And so that
But the politics
difference,
are the same.
and so that
Nah,
difference is what makes the difference between the two men.
you just
There is a
said
difference.
the skin color. No, you just said the skin color was the difference. You just identified black politics and white
Yeah,
politics.
that is
But
a
I'm telling
difference.
you, their
That is a
politics are the
difference.
same.
Yeah, that is a
No, it's not,
difference.
bro. They're
It
both
is a
Republicans,
difference.
bro.
You just admitted it.
You say what you want, bro. That's fundamentally, intellectually dishonest.
No, there's
They're
nothing
both
dishonest about it
Republicans.
at all.
And you gonna tell me that black politics is different from white politics in the Republican Party? That's bullshit, bro. You know it.
I'm just keeping it real with you.
No, you're
It
not.
makes a
You keep it real.
difference.
You playing
We
identity
lost
politics, bro. And it's a damn
representation
shame.
when they put Steve Gooden in there over to replace Jeff Pastor.
The
Period.
politics
We
never
lost
changed,
racial
bro.
leadership representation. That might not
Racial
matter to
leadership
you. You might not
representation.
see
The
it, but
politics
you
stayed
can't
the
call in
same.
here and say it don't matter. I mean, you
Yeah, I
can, but it
can.
ain't gonna
I
work.
just did. And who gonna check me, boo? I'm gonna holler at you,
I'm
comrade.
checking you right now, boo. That's easy. I'm gonna check you. I'm the one who's gonna check you, but I do appreciate that information though. So you're saying that Greg Lansman and Silbach may recuse himself. That would change things. That would definitely change things. We'll see. Now I'm even more intrigued now. So there's no difference between having a black person have black representation and white representation on city council. That sounds really fucking ridiculous. It sounds dumb as hell. We took a step backwards. That we have less representation as black voters in Cincinnati than we did before, even though he was a Republican. And you're not going to tell me that the way that you grow up and your experiences are not going to inform you as a legislator. Anybody who tries to make that argument is lying to themselves. They can't lie to me. They're lying to themselves. It matters. You telling you get somebody that comes from, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, they're going to have the same insight and the same viewpoint as somebody that grew up, maybe had a less privileged background. Come on, man. Stop it. Let's go back to the phones and say good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Tracy. How are you?
Hey, Tracy. Good morning. I'm doing great.
I just want to, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. I just want to take a moment and thank the Choppas who sent their kind thoughts and prayers to my son who was involved in a horrible car accident on Monday, and your wife was one of them. He's doing fine, but as a parent, that's the call that you don't want to get. But it was just, if I could just recap real quick, it was a woman who was running late to work. The accident happened in Forest Park. She blew through a stop sign. She was coming down Promenade Street, and he was crossing in front of her coming down Kemper Meadow. And her job was right at the corner of Kemper Meadow and Promenade at the Any Labs Now. It's like a drug test place or something like that. And she hit him going 30 miles an hour coming through that stop sign and hit him on his driver's side. The car spun around, hit a boulder that was sitting there on the sidewalk, knocked the boulder off the foundation, tore the back half off, and bent his back passenger tire in. So the car is a total loss, but praise God, I still have my son. So message to all, just slow down. If you're running late, pretty much you're already late. He called me very upset at 8:58, which let me know she had to be at work at 9 o'clock. And, she tried to tell the officer she did stop at the stop sign, and he's looking at the damage like, come on now. And so she was cited. And, I sent all of the pictures because I just turned into an investigator right there at the scene, taking pictures of everything and sent it to her insurance company. And they said, we accept full liability, so they're not going to fight it. So we got to take care of all of that. But, he's doing fine. He's just dealing with some post-traumatic stress. He actually went back that day and drove on that street, which is good, to jump back out there and make yourself do it. But, he's just a little apprehensive now being a driver. And hopefully that'll slow him down because I've been preaching to him, driving fast on the highway. I said, if she did that damage at 30 miles an hour, imagine the damage you could do driving 80 miles an hour. So hopefully it's a lesson for everybody. Chick still clocked in late to work that day. Her car is drivable. The front end was off, but she drove and parked in a parking space and walked into work after it was all over. But I just really wanted to come on here and thank your Choppers for sending their messages and well wishes. And I saw that you did too. So thank you very much.
For sure. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, take it
Thank
easy.
you.
Yeah, I know she was scared on that one. I'd be terrified. That was my daughter. She want to drive right now. She can't wait to get behind the wheel. She is bugging the hell out of me and her mother so she can go out and drive. But every day, can I go drive? Can I go drive? Can I drive? Every day. Mad. Man, she be mad about like, you ain't gonna take me driving. I'm never gonna drive. So she'll get out there soon enough. And I'm gonna be terrified just like Tracy is. Like me, one of them parents with a new driver, terrified. Mm-hmm. I was looking at some baby pictures of her the other day. Matter of fact, they're over there. And it's just amazing. I'm looking at her like, damn, she was so little. Now she running around here thinking she's smarter than me. And she is on some levels. Can't tell her nothing about some things. Some things she'll listen. Some things she thinks she got it all figured out. You know, teenagers. You know how teenagers are. Justin writes, women should have the right to choose, but men should have the right to opt out of child support. Yeah, I feel on that. That's a whole nother situation. Like, I agree. Women should have the right to choose, and so should men. A man should have the right to relinquish his parental rights for all time, just like a woman does. A lot of women don't like that. That's because they're not really thinking it all the way through. They're getting caught up with their emotions. If they think about it, actually, like, wouldn't you want to know before the child gets here whether a man is going to be there in the life of your child or not? I don't know. If it was me, I want to know. Tell me early on. So I think there should be like a window for when a man realizes or is first told that he has a child on the way, in which he can legally relinquish his parental rights. Now, what does that mean? That means it's your baby. You don't got no visitation. If the baby turns out to be LeBron James, we don't want to hear from you. It's all on mom. And I don't think that's a bad thing, quite honestly. Carmelita writes, you better quit preaching this morning. Jerome writes, I am anti-abortion, but believe your body, your choice. See, that's responsible. I can respect somebody who says, I'm against it, but do you? That's everything. We Americans, right? That's the American spirit. I can do me and you can do you. We can both do what we want to do in this country. Susan writes, Nate, come back with fire. Sarah writes, Graston versus Graxton, Family Feud. What did I miss? Shannon writes, a woman should definitely have control over her body and what happens to her. The only issue for me, which is a very complicated one, is that there are products of conception which two people are responsible for. The female donor gets to decide if a child is born or not. If the male donor does or does not want a child, he gets no say. If he doesn't want a child, he doesn't get the option or say to abort. So he will have to pay child support. I just spoke to that, Shannon. That's why I said men should have the ability, the legal right, but we don't trust men, and women don't trust men for this. But I think that people will be surprised. Like, if it was legal in America for a man to, let's say, within the first month of finding out that a woman that he's been involved with is pregnant with his child, he can go to the courts and say, sign a piece of paper, it's all on you. I think that would be a more fair society. I think that it would give some women a moment to pause, like, I'm really going to have to do this by myself. Not like fake do it by yourself where, you running him through the system, he paying child support and he's doing his daddy duties and all those kind of things. And the issue about whether it's life or not is something that a lot of people felt strong opinions about. You got to make your own decision up about that. It's up to you. Some people say it begins with conception. Some people say it begins 14 weeks afterward, or, it all depends. But generally speaking, that's how I feel about it. Brian writes, some of these cats are hilarious. If life began in your balls and the state tried to prevent you from scattering your seed into a towel, your energy would be way different. Hashtag pro-choice. Way different. Oh, let mommy do it. He's combing his hair. Yeah, man. Let your mother do it. Let your mother do it. You're trying. Use the other end. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Looking good, though. He is hilarious. You see, Terry writes, good morning, Nate. Or Tessie. Tessie writes, good morning, Nate. Good morning to you, Tessie. Good morning to you. Cruella Sunderman. That's a good one. Cruella Sunderman. That's hilarious right there. We need to stop putting so much emphasis on city council. It's a part-time job, but look at, they have so much influence over what happens here locally. We got to keep an eye on it, Clarence. And again, I mean, I got some real tough questions for the people that are running for city council. Got some real tough questions that I'm going to use to help separate and differentiate who could earn my vote and who's good for the people. You know what I'm saying? But we shall find out. Let me go straight to the phones again and say good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Brother Fame. Welcome.
Good. I'm glad you're back, feeling better because that makes one of us because I'm a little wore out, myself. Last night was a full moon. I was out to about 5:30 in the morning doing wolf shit. And, it was a healthy full moon. You got that super moon coming. So, yeah, it was very eventful. However, I was minding my business. Just listening, watching the weak comments, the insults in the chat, Daryl Erkins. Bruh, listen, I've told you once, I'm not going to tell you again. I don't really care what you say about us, your insults, because you're gay. No man who finds comfort in another man's penis is going to insult me and have an effect on anything I do. I don't care how bigoted that sounds. Okay, so you can just keep on with your little name calling. I'm just letting you know they're in vain. Much like Black America let Sharika Adams die in vain while you're talking about men paying child support and whatnot. We're all familiar with the Ray Caruth saga. Sharika Adams ended up being the victim and the child. Had this law been in place then, that woman's more than likely still alive. And we haven't done anything since 2000 or 2018 when he got out of jail, which tells me you're okay with letting that woman die in vain because that wasn't the first time it happened and it ain't been the last. That a guy killed a woman who was threatening to take him to child support court. So that's what I would like to see done from that. Let's not lie. That's been my argument the whole damn time. We've talked about it on your show, Nate. Let's not let that lady die in vain. There's an easy fix to prevent a great deal of this, and that is enacting the legislation that you talked about. You feel me?
No, I don't.
I know you didn't, just because that's just who you are. You want to hate. I'm on your side. You're just being a contrarian just to have something to do.
No, I just can't support Ray Caruth in any way. I know Ray Caruth is one of your superheroes, but to me, he's a heartless bastard, and I hope he dies alone. And when he goes to hell,
supporting him.
hope his
See, that's
soul
what I'm saying.
burns in hell for the rest of all time. Fuck Ray Caruth.
As the older black gentleman talk radio host likes to say, that's just simply you being a nabob of negative. However he says that, negativism. If you look at it from his point of view, right? Because I don't listen to the show that much. I listen to the younger guy who comes on like 7:30 in the morning.
Well, you got some smarts then. I'll give you that much.
All right, then. Damn. That's what I'm saying. That's the hater in you. You're just being a hater this morning.
Not, man.
Okay?
I'm just not for that pro Ray Caruth. I'm anti Ray Caruth.
It's not pro Ray Caruth. It's pro Sharika Adams and black women.
Right now, he gets dragged to hell instantly.
B, don't look at it from his perspective. Look at it as perspective of protecting black women and not letting Sharika Adams die in vain.
You're trying to spin it.
This has happened plenty of times since then. That fateful 2000 event, and it's happened locally. You're preventing senseless deaths of women.
Well, then get a vasectomy.
You're looking at.
Why isn't that part of the conversation? Don't have unprotected sex. Don't have sex with women that you don't want to have children with. Simple as that. That will prevent all this stuff from happening, like what happened to Sharika Adams. That's
a case of morals, and you're worried about you're trying to judge people there. And I think that's when your argument falls weak because it becomes personal. People are going to be people. Just like people, you can't say don't have sex with women and then not be concerned about kids fighting in Kings Island.
No, what I'm saying is
saying that's y'all not raising y'all kids, because it seems to always be our kids that are at public places rumbling.
It sounds like some weak ass man shit.
No, the weak ass man is you hating and not looking at it from a different perspective, not being able to adjust your lens. Be a photographer and adjust the lens.
No, what I'm saying, brother, is your perspective on this Ray Caruth thing sounds like some weak ass man shit. I'm not saying you're a weak ass man, because I know you're not. But what you're saying sounds like some weak ass man shit. Is passing the buck and blaming other folks.
And what I'm saying is the role of the alt middle in your show's history has been to blow up the negatives so that you can see the bigger picture. God damn, that's what I just did.
But you didn't blow up the negative.
The bigger picture is protecting women. The bigger picture is protecting women.
Yeah.
I did blow up the negative.
If you want to protect women from situations like that, then men have to act like men. So what does that mean?
Well, then, if that's the case, women have to act like women. Don't just sleep with anybody.
Yeah, but you're not a woman, and neither am I. We're two men talking about men stuff. We're two men talking as men about men shit. And as a man to a man, what we cannot continue to do is bellyache about what women do. We have to take control over our reproductive abilities and control the situation. It's simple. If you're dealing with a woman that you don't want to have kids with, strap it up or get a vasectomy or don't have sex with her. And that way you can ensure that you don't have kids with her. Simple as that.
At what point in this phone call did I blame women for what they do? All I simply said is I agree with you. Let's enact some legislation. You're making an argument where there isn't one.
You started.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Yes,
you did.
I started the conversation.
Your whole spin, the way you spent that talking about what we got to do this for Sharika Adams, was in and of itself disrespecting what happened to that woman.
How? I'm saying let's enact a law in her name or something so that she doesn't die in vain. You're just looking for an argument. This isn't Facebook, sir.
What do you mean how? Faye, let me explain this to you. You just called up here and said that we need to pass some laws that will allow men to relinquish their birthrights to unborn children. That's not the headline in the Ray Caruth story. The headline in the Ray Caruth story is that he was a heartless, narcissistic, self-centered, murderous bastard. That's the headline.
Again, more negativity from you. That headline is 20 years old. What are we spinning from today? Protecting women. I don't know where this negativity from you is coming from, but it's unnecessary, it's unwarranted, and it's unfortunate that you won't adjust your lens. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, that was 20 years ago. Let's spin it forward. You got on before I got on the line. You were talking about.
That's what I'm saying. You're trying to spin the unspinnable. There is no spin to this. Ray Caruth,
I'm not trying to spin anything. We're here today.
We're here today
in 2021.
Ray Caruth should have died in prison alone in his cell. He didn't. He should have.
He didn't. That's what you wanted. You wanted him to drink the poison you mad about.
No, I wanted him to deal with his crimes, to pay his life for the 2 lives that he took.
He did his time in jail. He served his debt to society. Where are we today? We still don't have a law on the books that you were saying that you wanted.
Yeah, but there's 2 different issues here.
Yeah, but
no law on the
you're
books
looking for an argument
is
where
going to
there isn't
prevent
one.
a deranged individual from doing what he did. That law, if we had that law on the books, he still would have did what he was going to do.
It will prevent it. It'll slow a bunch of that down. I can almost guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to fucking go over there and argue with her and kill her because you ain't got to pay if you don't want to be involved. You know, I bet Tony Rieger would have liked that law.
Ray Caruth was an irresponsible man. Ray Caruth was an irresponsible, narcissistic man.
You're making an argument. You're making an argument that's already been proven.
Homie. I'm just keeping it real.
You're not keeping anything real because you're not
irresponsible, narcissistic man. And no law
20 years ago,
in
he
America would have prevented him from being that. If
I
if
guarantee
we
you
had a
that.
law
I
on the books
guarantee
that
you.
said, well, you have a month until you have to sign these documents, Ray Caruth would have waited a month and 2 weeks. He was irresponsible. He was self-centered, and he was a murderer. Simple as that.
Nathan.
Fame.
He's already been convicted of that. I'm
Yeah.
sure with a legal team that a first round NBA or NFL player would have, agents and lawyers, that kind of comes with the territory when you're drafted in the first round. I can almost guarantee he wouldn't have signed no papers late with people working for him. But again, you're looking for an argument where there isn't one. I don't know what's wrong with you, what
Actually, there
meds
is an
you're
argument
on
here.
or didn't take.
Actually, there is an
How?
argument here. I don't understand why
Where,
you
buddy?
can't see that.
Because you're asking me to look in the past. I
No.
told you I already blew up the negative. I
I'm
want you to
asking
see the
you-
bigger picture. The bigger
There is
picture
no
is
bigger
I
picture.
agree with you.
There is no bigger picture.
All right. I don't know what you're trying to do here, but hey, listen. I just want to move on.
Okay, let's move on.
Because we're getting nowhere about
We're
that
not.
situation that I agreed with.
Right. You're a fan of Ray Caruth, and I think he should burn in hell. There it is.
And I'm saying also, you said that there should be a law, blah, 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 and I'm agreeing with that.
And we
That's
agree on
all.
that. We agree on that part, yeah.
And so all that other stuff that you were trying to go through some rigmarole, like to prove a point, I was just like, is this the talk show host I've been listening to for 15 years?
Yeah, it is. Don't try to invalidate my flows. My flows was on point.
No, I'm not invalidating your flow. It was not on point.
My flows was on point. Ray
It was
Caruth
very
is a murderous
emotional.
bastard who paid a black
was
man
very
to kill his
emotional.
pregnant girlfriend because he didn't want to have a child.
It's extremely emotional what you're talking about.
It is
However,
emotional.
So is the Kwame Brown issue. Because now he's tapped into Charlemagne the God's known rape trial and kind of went deep into it. Like he said, if you're 22, how the hell are you getting involved with a 15-year-old anyway to take a lesser charge? And I thought he made a very valid point about that, but it was 3 years old. But see, the thing is, that issue was 3 years old. So how have we let Charlemagne linger around for 3 years? For 3 years, and nobody's cared
Because he's making
that
money.
he did that.
He's making money for a big time media company.
Or he's a part of the machine, the black face of the machine, much like Angela Rye, Sean King, if you will, and Colin Kaepernick were. The black faces of the machine just, they just keep churning them out for you. They'll tell you who you are to respect. And that's why I'm loving Kwame Brown's, I call him rants, but I guess he's just getting stuff off his chest. Because like he said, for 20 years, he's been quiet as hell. He's never said nothing. I never heard him talk.
As Eminem would say, he's cleaning out his closet.
Exactly.
I'm here for it.
And yeah, I'm totally here for it too. And I totally agree with him about, I think he's ended Matt Barnes.
You think so?
Seriously. But you know what he got on about Matt Barnes about? It's like, first of all, I love the phrase, like, you a hell of a nigga. I love when he said that. I'm cracking up. It's like you sit up on that podcast like you a hell of a nigga.
He is hilarious.
Yeah, and he got on Matt Barnes. He said, because Matt Barnes told him in some type of way to SMD. And he's like, you up there offering your penis to another man like that. Who does that? And you know what I instantly thought of?
No.
The man who offered to sever me and 3 other men. That's what I'm saying. There's just certain language. You goddamn right I am. There's just certain language you don't use to other men.
I agree with you.
And you know that. A woman who in the chop shop, she's married. She asked me the same thing. I used to speak up. I said, go ask your husband. How inappropriate is that? She's like, I already did. And he said it's very inappropriate to say to another man anything about either one of y'all's junk. And that's what I'm talking about. And also, before I go, I don't. The real thing reason I called was whatever Brian Taylor said. I forgot. You had read the comment. It chapped my ass about as much as when he compared black people to pit bulls. Chapped my ass. You know, I don't know why y'all come on here and try to wax poetic, making these dumbass comparisons to stuff. Please stop. Brian Taylor, you owe the Chop Shop an apology for comparing us to pit bulls, the black people. If you're black and you enjoyed that comparison, just type a Y in the comments. And that's all I got, Nate. I'm going to go rest up. Last night was a hard one, but life goes on.
If you throw me to the wolves, I will emerge leading the pack. That's fame. Appreciate the call. I disagree with a lot of what he said, but it keeps the conversation going nonetheless. 513-873-7134. Kamar writes, hang up. Terrence writes, Nate, read the chat about my brother, about what my own brother is doing to me. Really? I missed that. What's going on? Again, they come in so fast. Like I only see like 6 messages at a time. So I might have missed it. Jay writes, glad you're feeling better. Glad I'm feeling better as well. Kamar writes, it's time to regain trust in the black community. How do we do that? Dale writes, Black Russia is a beta scent mail and so is fame. Not my words. Charlie Winburn, Hamilton County Treasurer, writes, good morning. I wish above all things that everyone on this show today prosper and be in good health. I love that. Thank you so much. Clarence writes, get the F off the line with this bull. Landsman, Kearney, and Silbark ain't gonna vote for that ish. Dale writes, Black Russia Kane mofo. Ask him about Larry Householder. Why do this black man go out of his way to uphold white supremacy, right? Sarah writes, the text message was very elementary and didn't reach the level of harm. That's what I thought. Clarence writes, that's slave talk. House Nigwa. Please remember, Black Bethel Tate is a Smitherman guy. Black Bethel Tate. Come on, writes, that doesn't make sense. Anthony writes, 2 men call each other boo. I think I did say that. Strike that from the record. Brent writes, alt middle equals black Republicans only in Cincinnati. Oh man, I'm calling out them house Negroes. You better come right on this show. Tip writes, I'm sorry to hear that, Tracy. Glad he's okay. A lot of well wishes to Tracy. Yeah, I saw the images on Facebook. Not a good deal, man. That's like everything that you worried about when you have children who begin to become drivers. And I don't worry about my daughter. She's smart. She'll be a good driver. I'm worried about all the other people. I was at a major intersection just yesterday. The light was on. I was getting on the interstate at MLK, and I was taking a left, and I was going toward Rookwood. Okay, so I'm at that light. The light is clearly red. It had been red for like 5 seconds. A car just comes up, truck, zooms straight through the light, doesn't even stop. I see this kind of shit all the time. It's like, where are the fucking police? I see people going through lights. Man, just the other day, I was in Coreyville. There's a sign that says no turn on red between 7 a.m. and 5:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. It was a Tuesday. It was like 3:30. Person goes straight through. They just turn. People just do what they want to do out here. Jalen writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Marcia writes, good morning. Cass writes, hey, Choppas. Iris writes, anybody review the city manager's recommended budget? It's a good question. I have not. Said, check my email. Okay, let me check my email right quick. You want to go to Rookwood right quick? Tracy. See. Apparently he sent an email. Graxton sent an email Okay, so here's the email that Gregson sent to city council members. Dear Mayor and members of council, citizens passed issue 1 and 2 for the purpose, even though he voted against it because he said it was duplicative like I did. For the purposes of cleaning up municipal government, it's not going to do that. We did our job as citizens. Now it's the body's job to suspend Councilman Wendell Young, who continues to serve while under state indictment for tampering with records pertaining to open records. For the sake of our city's institution, Councilman Young must be suspended with pay today. Respectfully yours, Tracy Graxton. He got a response from Nick Mormon, who is a community relations director for Betsy Sunderman. He writes, Tracy, I want to write to you on behalf of Councilmember Betsy Sunderman, author of issue 2, to let you know we fully agree. We look forward to our colleagues finally taking action on all of the anti-corruption rhetoric they have been using and voting as such today. I mean, like I said, Graxton has a problem. He's got an axe to grind with Wendell Young because Wendell Young ran his boy down. He ran, what was the guy's name? The Mac, one of the Mac twins. It was hilarious. Classic. Nothing's going to change that. Nothing's going to change that. It still happened. Amina writes, too far. Somebody writes, Kaman writes, it's spicy today. Antoinette writes, who is that? Jalen writes, some of it, 10.2% increase to police and fire, 3.5% increase to water bills over the next 2 years, etc. Yeah, so there was all this talk about reimagining. Your city council said we're going to increase our spending to the police. I mean, so I guess it's the will of the people. Kush is in the house. He's cracking up. Glenn writes, let the dog out. He should in the house again. Kamar writes, you know how to get on his skin? Yes, I do. Susan writes, vasectomy is a case of morals, but murder is not. Yeah, I don't want to hear all this belly aching. I don't want to hear nothing from no man talking about how he don't want to be no father. I don't want to hear shit about that because you made the decision. You got all the power. And men need to know that you have all the power. If you don't want to have children or you're not sure, here's what you do. You go to your doctor and you freeze some of your sperm. And then you go to your doctor and you get a vasectomy. That way you can choose as to what woman will be impregnated by you. No woman's going to be accidentally impregnated by you. You have full control. Because the only way they can get your sperm is that you have to get your approval to get it. And once you get a vasectomy sexually, you can do all the same things. Nothing changes. But you got too many weak ass men that don't want to be responsible. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want it all. They don't want to have to give up nothing. They don't want no discomfort. They don't want nothing. They want it's just selfish. It's self-centered and it's selfish. So Ray Caruth is a murderous bastard. And if he didn't walk out the prison because somebody took care of him in the prison, I wouldn't have had no tears for him. So what? Look what he did to his son. His son is handicapped for the rest of his life. He put the burden on the grandmother who had lost her daughter. Do you understand what this woman's life has been like? So no, that's not the moral of the story, Fame. The moral of the story is that Ray Caruth was an NFL player who was narcissistic, lazy, and a murderer. What kind of black man pays another black man to kill his girlfriend because she's pregnant? Come on, yo. Even if you don't want the baby, at the point in which it happens, homie, you're going to have to roll with that. It is what it is. But the murderous bastard probably didn't want to have to do anything. He didn't want to wear a condom. Don't want to get a vasectomy. Don't want to use spermicide. You just want to do what you want to do when you get ready to do it. Okay, well, there's a price to pay for that. It is what it is. Let me see here. Daryl writes, I apologize to the Choppas. I will not entice or engage that man again. I don't need the negative vibes. Please accept my apologies. Okay, brother. Apology accepted. Charles writes, I bet 100 to a bag of Caruth witches he had not had Sharika killed. You bet he did. He bet he did. You know, his son looked just like him. You was going to have a son that looks just like you. Yeah, maybe you don't want to be with the mother, whatever is inconvenient, but you got a son now. Let's go ahead and live your life. He could have lived his life in the NFL. And that would have been it. Sure, you was gonna have to pay her some child support, but it comes with territory. So God was right when he said he don't want you to have sex until you get married. That's every individual's decision. People have to make their own decision about that. Kamar writes, protect black women. Clarence writes, F Charlemagne the devil. Charlemagne the devil. Well, it happened 20 years ago. He talked about it, and he's making money for a lot of influential people. They don't care about what he did to some woman 20 years ago. What they care about is release the Kraken. Where's the money? The Breakfast Club makes a lot of money for iHeart. They make so much money that they went in business with Charlemagne the God. He's got his own network, podcast network, The Black Effect, which I like. They're not letting that go because he might have sexually abused a black woman 20 years ago. They don't care about that. I am going to end the show a little bit earlier just because I'm still getting my energy back, and I'm going to go rest. But before we go, I'm reading this very interesting article for Tracy and people in Forest Park. In the mostly black city of Forest Park, home prices are surging. Did you know that? The median home prices in Forest Park rose 20.4%. So if you own a home in Forest Park, things like something is good. If you live in Forest Park, has that been your experience? Share with me and let me know. That's a great thing. Only about a third of black families in the Cincinnati metro area are homeowners compared to about 3/4 of white families. In Forest Park, however, the split is almost even, with 59% of white families living in owner-occupied homes compared to 58% of black families. And apparently they are reaping the rewards of the surging home values. So I love to hear that. Anybody own a home in Forest Park? Is life good out there? Feeling happy? Great. Now, when we can get 59% of black people to live in Cincinnati that are homeowners, that's going to be a better Cincinnati. That's going to be a much better Cincinnati. And with that, I'll leave you like that, family. I got to make a move. I'm not 100% just yet. Give me a couple of days, maybe by the end of the week. So I'm going to leave the show just a little bit early. If you want to connect with me, I'm highly accessible. Just hit me with a direct message and I will reach out to you today. All right. Thank you for being here. I plan on being with you tomorrow as well. And we'll chop it up on everything that's going on. All right. Have an excellent Wednesday, an excellent hump day. And I'll catch up with you real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivy and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my... Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, got them feelings I throw all my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did and it do not move me.